Who doesn't want more traffic to their Etsy shop? I do, and I'm guessing you probably do too. Today, I want to share a super quick hack that you can use to multiply your Etsy traffic without having to come up with any new products. So I have shared this tip so many times inside the Thriver Circle, my membership community for makers, and elsewhere online, but I realized I'd never actually made a video or done a podcast about this particular hack. So today, I am here to finally tell you about this one. Basically, it comes down to the variations feature in Etsy. So if you're not familiar with this, variations is where you can add a product and then offer lots of different versions of that product. Say you make bowls, ceramic bowls, and you offer 5 different colorways. You would have one listing, and in that listing you would have the 5 variations of the different colors. Or maybe you make fabric bags and you want to offer people different styles or patterns or colors of fabric that they can choose from to get their own custom bag. So what I see a lot of people doing is having one listing and then they have like an image with all the different fabric colors in there or designs in there, and then the people choose the variation they want. Now I do this in my shop for some of my listings as well. I have rings that I make in 3 different finishes: oxidized, polished silver, and matte silver. And so I have some listings in my shop that are like this. They have the one ring to rule them all. No. There's the ring with the 3 different variations, and as you click through the variations, you see the different finishes and you can choose the one you want. However, I strongly recommend that this is not the only way you do things. And I see a lot of people who only list their stuff this way when they have variations on offer. The smarter way, or I should say the way that's going to get you more sales, is to list these items separately. So before I explain how to do this, I'm going to explain why, and it comes down to understanding the Etsy search algorithm and customer behavior. So let's go back to the example of the bowls. Very simple, different colors, right? If you sell this as one listing with 5 variations, what's going to happen is when you list the item, you can only have one initial photo that shows up in Etsy search. So somebody searches for a blue bowl, and because you have that in your tags and in your description perhaps, they're going to see your listing come up, but your main photo is a red bowl. They're going to be like, I'm looking for a blue bowl. Why would I click on the picture of a red bowl, right? So they're just going to go straight past it, even though it's turned up in search, because they don't know that when they click through on the red bowl, that you've got a blue version in that listing. So this is a huge reason why I strongly suggest that you split those variations up into separate listings, because that one listing turns into 5 different listings, which gives you more reach in the Etsy search algorithm. So that's step number 1. Reason number 1 is you actually turn one product into 5 products in your shop. The second reason is because when people are looking for a blue bowl, they're going to click on a blue bowl. They're not going to click on a red bowl. So you want to make sure that the blue bowl is visible in that initial picture, which means you need a listing where that's the first image. So those are the 2 main reasons why I recommend you do this. Now, you might be like, this sounds like a whole lot of work. And also, if I list the blue and red bowl separately, what if they end up liking the other one, but they don't know about it because they can't see it in the listing? This is why, if you really want to do this properly, spoiler alert, I have not done this properly in all of my listings in my shop. I'll be completely honest about that. But the best way to do it is to actually list all 5 of those variations separately and then have every single one of the other variations in each listing. So you're going to have the blue, red, pink, yellow, orange bowls as 5 separate listings. And then inside each of those listings, you're also going to have the variations of all the other options. So you've got 5 opportunities. We'll multiply that, right? It turns into 25 opportunities to potentially make a sale from 5 listings, because every time somebody goes into one of those listings, they're going to see all the variations as well. I just want to break in quickly here and let you know that if you are a beginner with Etsy and you want to learn more of these sorts of little tips and tricks, 1, make sure to subscribe, but 2, also make sure to go get a copy of my Etsy Quick Start Guide, which will make sure you know all of the really essential things you need to know when you set up your Etsy shop so you don't miss anything important. You can download that for free. I'll put a link on the screen and pop it in the description below. All right, back to it. So you've now got heaps more opportunities to not only reach more people, but also more opportunities to convince them to buy from you because they can see more of the options. Another thing that's great about this is that you can have a fuller shop which looks more professional. So let's go to the bag example, right? Say you make a particular style of bag, but you have like 20 different fabric options that people can choose from. Imagine the difference between landing in a shop and the person seeing one listing and they click through and there's all the variations, versus they see 20 listings and you have an image of each of the different fabric options. Now, granted, that is harder to do because you probably haven't made the bags yet, right? So maybe you only want to do a couple of them. Maybe you want to make up, say, 5 of those bags. And then if in each one of those, you can have all of the options available. I'm not saying this has to be like a complete either or scenario here. I'm just saying that this particular hack can result, the more you can do it, the more it's going to get you in front of more people, and the more you're going to potentially grab the eye of the customer who wants that thing because they're seeing what appeals to them the most. Because remember, the person searching on Etsy search only sees that first photo. They don't see all the variations of fabrics or colors or whatever it is that are available. And so they're making a snap judgment based on that first photo. Now, of course, you can also just list them as separate listings without all of the variations in there. And a kind of quick way around this is you can have a little link at the bottom or somewhere in your description that says see all versions of this here, and you can have all versions of it in one of your shop sections, for example. And that way they'll be able to see all the options without you setting up all the variations, but it's totally up to you which way you want to go with this. Long story short, try this out if this is applicable to you and your shop and you want to get more listings, potentially more reach and potentially more click-throughs and therefore more sales. Have a go at this strategy and let me know in the comments below if it works for you. And if you've done this, also let me know in the comments below how it's worked for you. And if you want more on how to succeed on Etsy, check out this video next, where I share 10 top tips from a successful Etsy seller. That's me. I've been selling on there since 2008. So there's a lot of ideas there for how to succeed on the platform. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Don't forget to subscribe, and bye for now.